Okay, everyone, we are getting started now. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm going to turn it over to our Caltrain board chair.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the chair of the Caltrain board, it is my immense pleasure to welcome you to this historic occasion. Today we celebrate a monumental milestone in our journey, the inaugural ride of Caltrain's first electric train. Tomorrow, the general public will be able to start riding these trains, and we will phase them in over the next 6 weeks. On September 21st, we will replace all of our 30-year-old diesel trains with electric trains on the main line and start running an electrified service that is faster, more frequent, and provides a world-class experience for everyone. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our partners at the federal, state, and local levels who have worked tirelessly to make this vision a reality. Today we are joined by the Governor of California, transportation executives, business groups, including the Bay Area Council, SAMCETA, and SVLG, environmental advocates, labor leaders, the Caltrain team, including our contractors on the trains project, Stadler, BBI, MSR, and the Caltrain board members, and of course members of our local, state, and federal delegation, some of whom will have a train named after them. Your unwavering commitment and leadership have gotten us to this moment. And I want to give a special shout out to our Executive Director for Caltrain, Michelle Bouchard, and Casey Frumson, her Chief of Staff. And the whole team who put this historic event together today. Today, we honor not only the 160-year-old legacy of Caltrain, but also look forward to a brighter future that will benefit generations to come. Thank you for being here. And now I would like to turn it over to the Mayor of San Francisco, London Breed.
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to San Francisco. For those of you who are visiting from Silicon Valley, welcome. And also, there's Giants games, there's Outside Lands, there's a Pistahan Festival and Parade. So many great things going on in San Francisco. And now, as a result of these electric trains, this will be a faster, more reliable, cleaner, more efficient, and technologically advanced trip to San Francisco. And don't worry, Mayor Mahan, we'll head to the 49ers games and the Sharks games down in your area too. We have a host of extraordinary leaders that will be talking here today about the incredible work they did to make this possible. This is many, many years in the making. Since 1999, electric trains have been proposed, and they are finally here. In bureaucratic years, I would say that's a little fast, but not as fast as these trains. So we are looking forward to moving into the 21st century with this amazing technology. We couldn't do this without our federal and state partners who brought in $1.2 billion each to make this a reality. And I want to truly thank our leader, Nancy Pelosi, for always making it rain in San Francisco. We are leading with the future, and I cannot wait until the Transbay Terminal Center and Salesforce and this train is connected so that high-speed rail from around the entire state is connected, and they're coming right here in downtown San Francisco. I I can go on and on and on, but we have a lot of speakers here today. And I'm so happy that we had the leaders of this state and the federal government to welcome you all. But more importantly, all of them have played a pivotal role in helping to make this a success. We are looking forward to seeing these trains move and groove, but you won't hear them coming because they'll be so quiet. Thank you all so much for being here today, and welcome to San Francisco. And with that, please welcome the San Jose Mayor, Mayor Matt Mahan.
Well, thanks, Mayor. And, I want to invite you to just stay on the train with me today because we're kicking off Jazz Fest down in San Jose this morning. Just come on down. We got a lot going on at the other end of this line. I'm Matt Mahan, Mayor of San Jose, and so excited about this historic investment. I have memories of taking this train, by the way, a train that has served our region for over a century, connecting communities, creating opportunity. I have memories of using it as a student to visit friends, as a techie, wearing my little puffy vest and backpack, standing room only in the morning to get to my tech job here in San Francisco, coming up to Giants games, and the fact that we'll now be able to go faster, cleaner, with more capacity is incredibly exciting. As Mayor Breed said, what we are showing here with this commitment, this incredible shared sacrifice that has gotten us to this point, is what California stands for. We show that we can do all of the above. We don't have to trade off our sustainability and climate goals with our economic vibrancy and opportunity goals. We can do both. In fact, they are intertwined. They are connected. So I'm really just here to say thank you to everyone. I have a memory I will never forget of serving on the board of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. Carl Guardino, I saw, was here in the audience here. Here he is. And we still had that gap and needed our federal partners to come through. And it's an honor to have our Senator Padilla here today. And I remember Carl got us in a room with Senator Feinstein. And she told us she was committed to making it happen, that she would work with Speaker Pelosi, that she would work with Congresswoman Eshoo, Congresswoman Lofgren, all women, by the way, who brought this home. And that we would get there. And so we owe a huge debt of gratitude to all of those incredible leaders who helped us see that better vision, that future, that if we all make this sacrifice now, we're going to create greater opportunity for everyone for generations to come. So thank you so much. Can't wait for this inaugural ride. Thank you. And really, you are all invited to Jazz Fest. Just stay on the train. Just keep coming. All right, next up, I am thrilled to introduce our Secretary of Transportation, Tokes Omashakin. Tokes.
Good morning, Caltrain family. Come on, good morning. An extreme high honor for me to be able to join everybody this morning on such a momentous, historic day for transportation in our state. When something like this happens, there are three questions off the bat that you immediately have to ask yourselves, and that we usually ask ourselves. Number one, who? Who did this? How did this happen? Well, a lot of people in this room, I was just talking to Carl Guardino about the same thing Mayor Mahan was talking about, the background behind this to make this happen. So a lot of kudos to the local leadership here. Mayor Breed, Mayor Mahan, the fight that you've had to go through to get to today. Many kudos to you on the ground. Michelle, the executive director of Caltrain, she deserves she deserves a ton of credit. Met with her a year and a half ago, and she was saying, Secretary, we're almost there. Many kudos to you. Shout out to you for your hard work. But there are people even before these mayors who fought to get here. There's a guy, some of you may know, his name is Mayor Newsom. He's somewhere, there you go. Oh, he's here. Mayor Newsom, they mentioned more than 20 years ago that this thing's been going on. He fought as well from the beginning to get us here, and now he's in another job, and appointed me to this job. So shout out to Governor Newsom for his hard work to get here. Very quickly, federal partners were absolutely essential to this. They already mentioned the leadership of Speaker Pelosi, all the hard work that you've done to help transportation in this region. I could go countless projects. Thank you for everything that you've done for transportation. Senator Padilla is also here. Got a chance to chat with him. You got several members of Congress. Thank you guys for everything that you've done for this as well. The Biden-Harris administration, more than $1 billion to this project. More than $1 billion. We're thankful for all of the help. The FRA administrator, you will hear from him in a little bit. Lastly, on the state, TRCP funds, high-speed rail funds, all go into this project, more than $1 billion as well. What is this going to do? The second question, straight to the point: cleaner, faster, quieter. Cleaner, faster, quieter. That's what this train is going to mean. So excited to see that happen. And finally, why is this important? Why is this important? For the people of this region. More than 55,000 cars will be taken off the road in this region because of the emissions that will be reduced by these trains coming through here. More than 55,000 worth of emissions, I should say, and possibly even trips as well. So an exciting time for this region. Excited to be a part of this momentous day. Let's go Caltrain. I mentioned federal government and how important they are to this. FTA is also represented here. I mentioned FRA, the administrator, Matt Bose. But from FTA, I don't know Matt, but Matt Wilbus. Oh, Matt is here. Please give Matt Wilbus a hand from FTA.
Thank you, Secretary Mashakin. I live across the continent, and sometimes I wonder when FTA invests $1 billion in a project, if anyone notices. And your presence here at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning helps answer that question. So thank you very much for being here. And just a month ago, we celebrated the 60th anniversary of the Federal Transit Program. And it's a program built on a really simple premise that when people share rides together, all kinds of good things happen, right? And people are talking about that today. And over those 60 years, all of you in the San Francisco Bay Area have been the absolute best partner with the Federal Transit Program, building more and better transit that makes people's lives better. And you think about what we've done together. I was traveling around the city yesterday and this morning, and over those decades, together with our funding and our relationships, we built the BART system. We built rail in San Jose. We have done so many things together, right? We restored the cable cars. We built the Central Subway recently. And now, with bipartisan infrastructure law funding, thank you, congressional delegation, for enacting that and President Biden signing it, we are making your transportation system low and no emission. We made a grant in the last year for an electric ferry. We're giving out grants that are funding hydrogen fuel cell buses in the East Bay. And now today, we're going to add another jewel to that crown with the electrification of the Caltrain system. And on behalf of my acting administrator, Veronica Vanterpool, my secretary, Buttigieg, President Biden, and your local resident made good, Vice President Harris, I really want to just thank you for the partnership that made all that possible. I do want to shout out my FTA team, Ray Tellis, our regional administrator, Amy Chang-Chen, our deputy regional administrator, who's here with me. And also I see in the audience our former regional administrator, Leslie Rogers, who helped advance this project. He signed the NEPA record of decision for the project. There was a moment a few years ago when, along with the congressional delegation and many of you, there was a moment of truth during a transition among administrations, and we all rode together to get to yes so that FTA could invest $1 billion in this project. And so, Michelle, just thank you for the partnership with FTA. There's a lot of moments to get here, right? It takes a lot of fortitude, and we're here to celebrate with you. And we don't do these things alone, right? The FTA, we don't own any buses, we don't own any construction equipment or rail cars, but in partnership with all of you, we got to this finish line. And one of the partners we work with is our colleagues within USDOT. And so I'm very happy to introduce my partner from the Federal Railroad Administration, FRA Administrator Amit Bose.
Good morning. I want to thank everyone from Caltrain for making today possible, and especially to CEO Michelle Bouchard. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Thank you to Speaker Emerita Pelosi, Governor Newsom, Senator Padilla, Congresswoman Eshoo, Congressman Mullen, and California Secretary of Transportation Amish Akin. I want to pay special recognition to Speaker Emerita Pelosi, who helped make President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law a reality, and the congressional members throughout California who supported this historic legislation, and Governor Newsom's strong commitment to expand and coordinate rail initiatives throughout California. His funding support for this effort and leadership on cap and trade, providing funding for rail, has been crucial. They make California stand out. I am here alongside my colleagues from the Federal Railroad Administration who support a portfolio of exciting rail projects across California, many of which are made possible by President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. I join my colleagues at the Federal Transit Administration, including FTA Acting Administrator Veronica Vanderpool and Executive Director Welbus, in expressing the Department of Transportation's strong support about the transformative Caltrain electrification project. Electrification with overhead, catenary, and electric trains is a safe and proven zero-emission technology that allows train speeds to exceed those of diesel-powered locomotives. Converting this corridor from diesel to electric will improve air quality and service. Today's celebration of progress sets a high bar for others across the country to keep rail a sustainable form of transportation and make it even more environmentally friendly for future generations. The Caltrain electrification project is also a big win for and another step towards delivering high-speed rail in California. With plans for Caltrain to share electrified track between San Jose and San Francisco with California high-speed rail, this project delivers compounding benefits for riders and the environment. Again, I want to congratulate Caltrain and so many others here today for making this launch possible. I applaud the critical role that all of you played. FRA is proud to have been involved in the review and testing of the new Caltrain Stadler EMUs, including the review of the structural design, crashworthiness, Americans with Disabilities Act compliance, as well as testing at FRA's Transportation Technology Center in Pueblo, Colorado, where I got a chance to ride the trains behind you. I look forward to revenue service beginning today, and today is another reminder of California's strong leadership and progress in transportation. With funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law, we're going to do even more. Thank you. And now I'll introduce Assembly Member Diane Papin.
Well, good morning, passengers. I'm Diane Papin. It's nice to be with you. This is not, thank you. This is not your captain speaking, but I do have some information for you. Electrification is here and will be departing shortly. Our destination is the 21st Assembly District that I happen to represent in Sacramento. And my district includes about 30 miles of Caltrain right-of-way, running through almost every community that I represent. Caltrain is a part of our landscape, a part of our history. For 160 years, it has been essential to helping us get where we need to go. From steam to diesel to now electrification, This is Caltrain's third act, people, and they're ready for it. And I'm thrilled to be traveling soon through all of our communities, powered by an electric train. Our cities were built on this railroad. All of the downtowns that flow along the peninsula, guess what? They emanate from each of the Caltrain stations along the way. And Caltrain really has been a life-giving artery along the peninsula. And I'm proud to say that electrification represents a renewal of its beating heart. Congratulations, Michelle. Congratulations, Caltrain. Let's do this. And without further ado, I'm so honored, thank you, and I'm so honored to introduce my colleague just to the south of me, where Caltrain also runs. I have Mark Berman, but Mark Berman is telling me that I should introduce my colleague Ash Kalra, who's just to the south of him. So come on up, Ash.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's incredible to be here after so many years. I do want to also thank CEO Michelle, as well as not the staff present and past over so many years that have remained steadfast to this, and to the federal partners and the local level partners, and certainly our state delegation from Governor Newsom, Assemblymember Phil Ting and Berman and Pappen, Senator Wiener, our former colleague Senator Mullen. The Bay Area delegation has remained steadfast in support of this. And I gotta say, it can be challenging at times when we're competing with LA and other parts of the state that are pulling so many resources, but I think it's the commitment and the teamwork of the Bay Area delegation from the federal to state, and I wanna give a particular shout out to the local representatives from San Jose, Santa Clara County, through the peninsula to San Francisco. I served on the Caltrain board. I was on the board when we actually first signed the MOU with High Speed Rail to actually formally get this project started. So I know how hard those elected officials that oftentimes go unsung work to make sure that Caltrain's trains are always running. So congratulations to everyone that's been part of this process. Congratulations to the passengers who are certainly going to benefit from this. And it's my honor to introduce my wonderful colleague, Assemblymember Mark Berman.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Berman. I represent the 23rd Assembly District in the California State Assembly. And I was driving up here this morning with a member of my staff, and we pulled into a parking lot down the block, and she immediately blurted out, "Damn!" And I looked up and saw these beautiful, sleek, fast-looking trains. And I totally agree. Dare I say, and this is not part of my talking points, but Caltrain is bringing sexy back. And we saw that a couple of months ago when there was an event in Assemblymember Pappen's district for the public to get their first look at the trains. And there were lines down the block of parents and even better kids that were so excited to be here, so excited to see these trains. And we're excited for people to get excited about riding public transit again. And so I just really, and it was mentioned that these are gonna be faster, they're gonna be cleaner, but for my constituents in Menlo Park and Palo Alto and Mountain View, they really appreciate that they're gonna be quieter. That's a really, for colleagues that live, or for constituents that live yards off of the Caltrain corridor, that's gonna be a huge factor. So congratulations to Michelle. Congratulations to everybody who's worked on this project. Congratulations to the hardworking union women and men who got us to where we are today. And next, I want to bring up my colleague, Phil Ting, who was the budget chair in the Assembly for the past 8 years. That was the right time to get state funding for this important project. Phil Ting.
Thank you, Mark. It's so great to be here. You know, when I think of Caltrain, I think of our region. This is the personification of the Bay Area. And this is what happens when we work together, when we bring each other together, and we really fight to bring home the money to build the infrastructure that supports our entire community. This is the train that links the city to San Jose, and we want to make sure that we are bringing everyone together. I had the honor of, as Mark said, chairing the budget committee when we were looking at making historic investments in Caltrain. So not just for the capital, as the secretary talked about, but also for the cars, and then of course last year making sure that we had operational money to make sure that all the transit agencies in the entire state kept running. because it wouldn't make sense to bring in these brand new cars if we couldn't make sure that Caltrain keep running. And Caltrain also had the amazing foresight a number of years ago. The voters had the foresight to make sure that they had a revenue measure to make sure that we are supporting Caltrain. And what's amazing is we have this electric future. This is bringing Caltrain into the 21st century. We know that we can't reach our climate goals, we can't reach our transportation goals if we don't completely electrify all our transportation systems. So we know transit has to be first. And this is a huge step for us to set the example, not just in the region, but in the state and really in the country for everybody else to follow. So with that, I'm excited to introduce our great state senator from San Francisco, a big transit champion, Scott Wiener.
Thank you, Assembly Member. As the mayor said today, we are celebrating our Filipino community in San Francisco and the Bay Area, and that is just one more example of the beauty of this city, and that San Francisco is alive and well and is thriving despite what some say. And thank you, Madam Mayor, for your leadership in bringing our city back. So this is incredibly exciting. These trains are beautiful. Everything about this project is beautiful. I am so grateful to the state, to the governor, to our federal partners for making sure that Caltrain could be brought into the 21st century. I also want to thank the state, but also our federal partners in the FTA for funding and prioritizing the portal, formerly known as the Downtown Extension, to make sure these trains can get all the way to the Transbay Transit Center. That is incredibly important. And despite what the naysayers say, high-speed rail is going to get down there as well. It's going to happen. So thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Governor, for standing firm on that incredibly important project. So all of this is so important. And what we also need to do, now that we have gotten all this great investment in this system, in modernizing BART, in modernizing Muni, in all of the great capital work that we've done, we need to make sure that we can, as Mr. Ting just said, that we can run these systems, and that the operational support is there so we can make sure that the trains and the buses are always getting people where they need to go. We have this beautiful gift of this amazing infrastructure, and we have to support it operationally. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful to the governor and my colleagues in the legislature for the support last year to make sure that all of these systems could be sustained. Had the legislature and the governor not made that investment last year, right today we would be cutting service at Caltrain, at Muni, at BART, at AC Transit, and we stopped that from happening, and we protected that funding this year. Thank you, Governor, for working with us to protect that funding this year. And now that we've gotten this beautiful federal investment, now that the state has stepped in to try to stabilize things and buy us some breathing room, it is up to the region, to the Bay Area, to come together at the regional level to make sure that we are all locking arms and working together to support these systems. And for anyone who has been involved, and I know there are people in this room who have, in regional transportation funding politics, it is the most chaotic form of politics in existence. But we are all working very hard regionally to move forward together and to make sure that we acknowledge that we are not just isolated in silos, that we are one region, and we're going to make sure that these systems are integrated and are getting people where they need to go. So congratulations to everyone. And with that, I am honored to bring up my former colleague on the Metropolitan Transportation Commission and in the state legislature, and now our great member of Congress, Kevin Mullen.
It's great to be with all of you today. Congressmember Kevin Mullen representing San Mateo County and a little slice of San Francisco. Thank you, Senator Wiener. I don't know who's more excited to ride these trains, me or my 6-year-old twin boys who are running around here. They've got those little toy trains that they ride around the house every morning. The electrification of Caltrain has a dream that has become a reality. We are standing in the shadow of Oracle Park. And as a Giants fan and as a Caltrain fan, I'm reminded of a line from the movie Field of Dreams. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. Just like baseball, train service has marked time in our nation. And today, we are ready to prove, if you build it, they will come. And building an electrified Caltrain has been the ultimate team effort. Partnerships and relationships, and yes, leverage, were all employed. While serving in the Assembly, I was proud to author the bill that created legal protections for Caltrain to tap into high-speed rail funds, and co-authored with so many of my colleagues here, like Senator Wiener and Senator Hill, who deserves a shout-out, Cherry Hill. We collectively authored that 8-cent sales tax measure that directly funds Caltrain. Caltrain electrification is a historic accomplishment for the future of innovative and sustainable transportation in California. I fully expect the future Harris administration to point to this project as a model for the future of passenger rail. Now with that, you see what I did there? Okay. It is now my pleasure to introduce my dear colleague, Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, who has been an unshakable champion of this project since the inception. When others said it couldn't be done, she believed in it so much that late Mayor Ed Lee used to call her Electrifying Anna. Congresswoman Anna Eshoo.
Good morning, everyone. What a sight you are. What a sight. This is the day that we dreamed of. We all dreamed about this day. And we took the idea of a dream and turned it into a vision. A vision. The history of Caltrain was made by a young president from Illinois, Abraham Lincoln. 160 years later, a young president from Illinois, Barack Obama, embraced the vision that we had. And you are the A-team because you made the vision come true. My constituents, people on the peninsula and in Santa Clara County, have taxed themselves locally to support Caltrain. There have been regional efforts to raise funds. The governor, the A-team in the legislature made sure that they produced the funding, and how proud I am of our Democratic congressional delegation for not only providing the votes, but over $1 billion investment in this dream come true. I salute all of you. I salute all of you. I salute all of you. As someone that lives very close to where the train moves, a quieter, faster, quiet first, quiet, faster, cleaner, safe Caltrain is a gift that is going to keep giving for the future of our region. So thank you, thank you. There are two words that are always associated with trains. All aboard. We're aboard today. Thank you, everyone.
Round of applause and a thank you for years and years of service to Congresswoman Eshoo. Good morning, everybody. The mood is indeed electric, isn't it? I just want to thank you all for doing today what so many workers do each and every day. We got up early, we got our stuff together, and we made our way to a Caltrain station to start the day. But today is a little bit different. You know, first of all, we're joined by so many dignitaries. I won't repeat the list, you've heard the names, but I want to thank all of my colleagues in public service because today took all of us doing our part to get here. But today is also different because this week, we're making history. will board the first electric commuter rail system in California history, which is not just a historic step for the state, but indeed the nation. You've heard it before. This is the model for the future for systems across the country. Did I hear it's going to be quieter? Did I hear it's going to be more reliable? Did I hear it's going to be friendlier to our planet and to our climate? And yes, we're also going to increase capacity. I want to say two things that haven't been on everybody's talking points. Number one, delivered by union labor. Thank you to the women and men in the trades for making this happen. And second, it hasn't just been the investment by so many to get to this point, but the return on that investment, because when we make it easier for workers to get to their jobs, when we make it easier for consumers to get to businesses throughout the region, guess what, folks? We are growing the economy in the process. And so thank you to the local leaders that really rallied local investments. And one of the strongest talking points I have every time I make a call to Secretary Buttigieg is, this is a region that taxes themselves to get the projects going. They've done it over and over and over again. It's a talking point that goes a long way in Sacramento, the legislature, the governor, to be able to commit state funding. And yes, I'm proud that the federal government has done its part over the years to help us get to this point. Now, you've heard the name just a couple of times today, Vice President Kamala Harris. Not just the Harris part of the Biden-Harris administration, but through the lens of a senator. I will tell you, if there's resources and funding that came by way of the bipartisan infrastructure law, and especially the Inflation Reduction Act, Vice President Kamala Harris cast the deciding vote to make those measures possible to get to the president's desk for signature. And I just have to say, for the local efforts beyond just taxation and vision, to really make it a little bit easier for us to deliver at the federal level, the fact that it was a tremendous coalition that came together. Local elected officials, state elected officials, Caltrain leadership, the FTA, FRA, and the environmental advocacy community, the business community, organized labor, all pulling in the same direction behind one vision. That is how we get to today. And tomorrow, the public will get their chance to ride for the first time these California electric Caltrain's electric trains. By mid-September, every train will be electric. And yes, it has set the model for the future when the day comes that all electric commuter rail is the norm for the United States of America. We will look back and proudly say, and it started in California. It began right here in San Francisco. And now, and now that it started today, I'm told that it started more than 20 years ago when my friend and our governor wasn't a mayor, but on the Board of Supervisors. So please welcome my friend, the governor of the great state of California, Gavin Newsom.
Thank you. Well, I now know why we started at 9 a.m. so we can get done by noon with all the speakers. So I'm gonna be brief. But let me just pick up a little bit on what the Senator just said. We love to say about California, we love to say about San Francisco, the future happens here first. We are America's coming attraction. That's a point of pride. It's also a point of privilege. And it's also, I think, the spirit that marks this moment. And that spirit has alarmed a lot of folks around the world because we don't imitate. We are a model to others. And that's what leadership is all about. This is the most transformative project of its type in a generation. Don't forget that. I know it's almost become norm, it's almost become fact, it's almost part of the expectation, the DNA in California, this shift towards electrification, low carbon, green growth, radically changing the way we produce and consume energy. But that happens because of the energy of all of you. The reason there are so many speakers is over the course of decades, it requires a lot of leadership, it requires a lot of fortitude, it requires a lot of grit, folks that don't take no for an answer. And so I just want to extend my appreciation to all of those that spoke, to those ex-officials. I got a sell-by date as well, so I'm well aware of that status. In the future, I want to thank them as well. But I just came here long-windedly to thank the most important person. I am not naive. You know, despite what Plato said, if there's any hope for the future, those with lanterns will pass them on to others. There was one bright light. There was one larger lantern that has withstood so much and is so much part of what we have come to experience and enjoy here in the Bay Area. There is no one more deserving of your support, no one more deserving of your praise, no one more deserving of your enthusiasm than the person I am privileged to introduce, who quite literally, beyond all of the good work being done here today, this project would not have otherwise happened. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to once Speaker, always Speaker, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you, Governor, Mayor, Supervisor, leader in our community. Thank you, Gavin, for your very generous words, which I accept on behalf of all of the House Democrats who made so much of this possible. And you've heard from some of them here this morning. Yes, it is true about Anna. Every day it was about the electrification. It's wonderful to have Kevin with us now, who brought his experience and leadership from the legislature to the Congress. Great to be here with Senator Padilla. Just a real effort in the Congress of the United States. I'm so glad Dianne Feinstein was mentioned. I do want to mention three other people. Honors granted to everyone who spoke, everyone who was mentioned, but everyone here, because this really was a community effort, a team effort. I just want to mention John Burton, who worked so hard on this when he was President Pro Tem in the State Senate. And I'll mention Jerry Brown, who initiated some of the legislation of the tax initiatives for all of this. And I want to mention Rudy Gonzalez, head of the building trades, who is here. Where are you, Rudy? Oh, there he is. Thank you, Rudy, because when we were doing these bills, any of these bills, we had to be sure we had Davis-Bacon in the legislation, and that was always something that was a priority for us. We were not going back. We were going very much forward. So here it is. Everybody has said so many important things. You all know it because you all did it. But thinking of enlarging the issue of what this means. This is, again, about innovation and the rest. For housing, people can live, they can get to work faster now because of high-speed rail and what we're doing today with Caltrain, faster, more quiet, and the rest. But this is a housing issue. It's an economic issue because in all of these initiatives that we do in the Congress, when we're talking about funding for any of this, it's about what is the economic development that will spring from it. It's about jobs, 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 to build it, and then jobs to run it, and then the jobs that spring from that economic development. It's about quality of life for families. They don't have to spend so much time in cars because they are can get there faster by public transportation, especially with this innovation, which, as the governor said, this is the first time in a generation that this has happened in all of North America. In all of North America. This is quite remarkable. And it's about, again, quality of life, but quality of air. The air our children breathe and the rest. This is a big issue environmentally. Jobs, environment, together. Quality of life for families. It's about time. What is the most finite commodity any of us have had? Time. This saves time in so many ways. So this is a remarkable achievement. I've said to the mayor over and over again, and thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, I've said to her so many times, one of the reasons we can be successful in our pitch, both in how we write the bill and how we appeal for the funds after we've written the bill, how we try to get the money back from the administration, is because we know that, it's an expression we use, that we know when we bring money home here, dirt will fly, that this will happen, that we have made our agreements, we've come to terms, and we're going to move forward. We're not going to be tied up with this, that, and the other thing. And also, I tell the mayor, this is a model, as others have said, to the nation, a model to the nation. So this is a cause for real celebration. It's a cause for progress. And I want to take it right back to Joe Biden and Barack Obama. They were so welcoming. Of course, you know Joe, Amtrak Joe. I mean, you don't have to talk to him about trains. You don't have to talk to him about trains. And you don't have to talk to him about protecting the environment. He had the first bill in the Senate, 1986, even before I was in Congress, to make a resolution to address the climate crisis. And all of this is connected. Carl, you know, you've talked about transportation and housing and how they go together. So that people can have access to good paying jobs and not have to, and be able to afford a place that is not as expensive as close to their workplace. So again, thank all of you because again, unity. This is a community effort, and that word community has the word unity in it. The commonality of interest, coming to terms, making decisions, and at the same time, our tech community producing some of the technology that makes the advance that we have in transportation possible. So as was said by everyone, San Francisco, the Bay Area, California has led the way. And I always say at these events, because we have them regularly on transportation, to all of you who have participated in this, thank you. Our hopes have been riding on you, and you have delivered for us. So again, when we talked about all the activities that are happening, Mr. Mayor from San Jose about the Jazz Fest, and Mayor talked about what's happening here, we also tonight we'll be welcoming the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris. I can't resist saying that. But in closing, did I say that once or twice already? You see, in the House, we speak for 1 minute, except the Speaker can speak as long as no. Once I spoke for 8 hours about dreamers, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I want to then return the compliment to our governor. When he was mayor, he had hundreds of mayors from all over the world to talk about leadership and saving the planet. And transportation is one of the biggest decision makers in saving the planet. So what were you, parking commission in the beginning? Parking commission, and then supervisor, and then mayor, and then now governor of the state. What the governor, the supervisor, the parking commissioner, what Gavin Newsom has done for us for the high-speed rail initiative, and again, the connection between this and that, as he always says, we are the coming attractions to the country, but we wouldn't be without the leadership, the work of so many of you here, and without the leadership of Gavin Newsom. Thank you, Governor, for your leadership. And now, Melissa, thank you. Thank you again and again. We're going to have a woman conductor on this train.